job, again, getting your stories out. And I don't think I mentioned it when I was telling you about my background, but I've kind of been a serial entrepreneur from birth. My father was, he was Norwegian, raised on a farm in North Dakota, and he left the farm to go barnstorming. And then the Air Force recruited him, and he was a glider pilot during the war. So he was very adventuresome, and I think I got that from him. So I admire all of you, because to me, writing a book, and you know, Morgana and I were just talking about it, all books are amazingly like an intimate and entrepreneurial type of activity. And you know, memoirs are really that way, you know. So we have so many authors who have done various different books that we're going to be honoring today. And I'm going to start now with one of our books. Which is My Journey, My Journal. And it went bestseller, I'm trying to think, I think in November or so. So all of the authors that were honored in that book, would you come up on stage? And if you could go no further than this plant and stay toward the front of the stage, that would be great. Everyone be very, very careful of these steps, because they're yeah. The quality control is kind of like a different little thing going on here. So, the first person I'd like to honor is Devin.
Thank you. Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Rita and Jazz, you need to move over towards this side of the, yeah, there you go. Yeah, come up a little bit, because then you're not in the light. Sorry.
Oh. I'm always in the light.
Okay, and the next person is Bill.
Thank you so much.
Don't want to mess your hair.
It's a good thing you didn't wear that crown. You never got
And then we have a person who has received a few of these over the years, and that's Mr. Halpern.
Oh, man. Thank you.
And then there is Jazz Gill. Oh, and also, Alicia Gill also contributed to the book, and unfortunately she was ill and could not join us at the last minute. So for you and your daughter. And Joe Murphy.
Yeah, Joe.
And Maurice McDonald.
Yeah. Aren't you proud?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be.
And Morgana Ray. Okay. And Rita. And we have Mike Terry, but he could not be here because he's not feeling well. So he sends his love. He hasn't been able to join us for a couple years now, but he sends his love, and hopefully he'll be able to return next year. So, everyone, congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that didn't get a copy of the book? Physical copy of the book? Okay, we've got a couple. So I'm just going to give us the first two. And if anybody else is here that didn't get a copy of the physical book, just let Pam know, and we'll send you one out.
I'm in that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we probably need a group picture here.
Joe, move up. Yeah, we're getting to it.
Thank you all. Okay, so none of this could happen without a fabulous team, and we have some members of that team here today. So I'd love to have them up on stage, and so we can introduce you.
Yeah.
Joe and Kathy and Erica. For you, thank you so much. For you.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like getting presents.
Thank you. And
Thank you, Nick.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are brilliant. You make it happen. Okay, we also have a really substantial body of people all over the country. And usually we have quite a few representatives, but for this year we have two who are on our advisory board, and they help make all the bestsellers happen by getting the word out and giving us really good information. So, Hal and Susan.
Oh, wow. You gotta travel with that?
I got it.
Oh, good.
Always the brand. Look at the bears in the picture.
There you go.
Okay, and there are two more members of our board that I can't forget, and that is Joe and Pam. Come on
I know. It's fine.
Okay, we were talking a lot about giving back, and so we have a mindfulness award that we give every year for people who have really given back substantially. And there are two people that their suitcases are going to be a little bit heavier as a result of this evening's award ceremony. Hal and Susan, would you come up, please? Basically, these are hourglasses because mindfulness really means that you're living in present time, and through that living, your hearts pour out to the rest of the world. And I know both of you do with your work in the area of health, and with Hal's work with cancer patients and all the things he's doing for so many wonderful children all over the world, we would like to award this to you. And the award is an hourglass.
Wow.
Oh, wow. It's a beautiful thing when career and passion come together.
It's so great. I've been working on my hourglass figure, so it'll remind me every day.
There you go, my dear. Okay, we need to get a picture. All right. So it's always wonderful to honor our authors. And it becomes even more wonderful when others honor our authors. So we did a book last year called Are You the Missing Piece? And there's really a story behind this book because one of our team members was talking to me one day and she said, you know, she said, you always talk about how the whole world is like a puzzle and that each person is a piece of that puzzle and totally unique in its configuration. And if one of those pieces is missing in contribution, it leaves it unfinished. And no other piece can fill that piece of the puzzle because everyone is so unique. And she said, why don't you do an anthology on that? So we did. We did a book called Are You the Missing Piece? And EIPPY decided to honor it with the Silver Award this year. So I will call up anyone who is in Are You the Missing Piece? Please come up on stage. All right. So Devin, once again, congratulations. Hal Price, congratulations. Jazz Gill, where are you? Joe Murphy. Morgana Ray. Pam?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wait. Thank you.
And Rita. And last but by no means least, because he's so amazing.
He's amazing.
But his name happens to start with a Z, and we do the alphabetical thing, so. Congratulations, this is a really great award because it honors literary excellence. So congratulations, everyone.
Always goes to camera. His first time.
It's wonderful that you all make such a great contribution to be acknowledged this way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So many of our authors get started. I love our anthologies because many get started contributing to an anthology and then they end up doing their own book. So it's wonderful to see them through an anthology where they've been a joint contributor and then they do their own book. And it excites us to no end. So the next awards will go to those that have actually created their own book and marketed to bestseller. Some with a little of our help. So Devin? Yay! This is, of course, for 1,000 miles with my dead father's ashes.
Did I catch it? It takes up the whole page.
Yeah, it's a long name.
And Hal Price, A Heart's Journey Home.
I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
There's that Eli Bear again, you know?
Branding master. Yeah, just kidding.
And Jan Hudar and his partner, Steve Hackney, for the Ultimate Business Growth Formula. Thank you all. Okay, so none of this could happen without a fabulous team, and we have some members of that team here today. So I'd love to have them up on stage, and so we can introduce you.
Yeah.
Joe and Kathy and Erica. For you, thank you so much. For you.
Thank you.
I like it.
I like getting presents. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are brilliant. You make it happen. Okay, we also have a really substantial body of people all over the country. And usually we have quite a few representatives, but for this year we have two who are on our advisory board, and they help make all the bestsellers happen by getting the word out and giving us really good information. So Hal and Susan.
Oh, wow. You got to travel with that?
I got it.
Oh, good.
Always the brand. Look at the bears in the picture.
There you go.
Okay, and there are two more members of our board that I can't forget, and that is Joe and Pam. Come on
I know. Good swag.
Okay, we were talking a lot about giving back, and so we have a mindfulness award that we give every year for people who have really given back substantially. And there are two people that their suitcases are going to be a little bit heavier as a result of this evening's award ceremony. Hal and Susan, can you come up, please? basically, these are hourglasses, because mindfulness really means that you're living in present time, and through that living, your hearts pour out to the rest of the world. And I know both of you do with your work in the area of health, and with Hal's work with cancer patients and all the things he's doing for so many wonderful children all over the world. We would like to award this to you, and the award is an hourglass.
Wow.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing when career and passion come together.
It's so great. I've been working on my hourglass figure, so it'll remind me of
There you go, my dear. Okay, we need to get a picture. All right. So it's always wonderful to honor our authors. And it becomes even more wonderful when others honor our authors. So we did a book last year called Are You the Missing Piece? And there's really a story behind this book, because one of our team members was talking to me one day, and she said, you know, she said, you always talk about how the whole world is like a puzzle, and that each person is a piece of that puzzle and totally unique in its configuration. And if one of those pieces is missing in contribution, it leaves it unfinished. And no other piece can fill that piece of the puzzle, because everyone is so unique. And she said, why don't you do an anthology on that? So we did. We did a book called Are You the Missing Piece? And EIPPY decided to honor it with the Silver Award this year. So I will call up anyone who is in Are You the Missing Piece? Please come up on stage. All right. So Devin, once again, congratulations. Hal Price, congratulations. Jazz Gill, where are you? Joe Murphy. Morgana Ray. Pam?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wait. Thank you.
And Rita. And last but by no means least, because he's so amazing.
He's amazing.
But his name happens to start with a Z, and we do the alphabetical thing, so. Congratulations, this is a really great award because it honors literary excellence. So congratulations, everyone.
Always wears a camera. His first time.
It's wonderful that you all made such a great contribution to be acknowledged this way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So many of our authors get started. I love our anthologies because many get started contributing to an anthology and then they end up doing their own book. So it's just, it's wonderful to see them through an anthology where they've been a joint contributor and then they do their own book. And it excites us to no end. So the next awards will go to those that have actually created their own book and marketed to bestseller. Some with a little of our help. So Devin? Yay! This is, of course, for 1,000 Miles with My Dead Father's Ashes.
Did I catch it? It takes up the whole page.
Yeah, it's a long game.
And Hal Price, A Heart's Journey Home.
I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
There's that Eli Bear again, you know?
Ranging master.
And Jayant Hudar and his partner Steve Hackney for the Ultimate Business Growth Formula.
Yes.
All right.
You look so snazzy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It does. It was so thoughtful. Okay, and as I said, we do some wonderful partnering activities with Keith Leon, and he is going to come up and introduce his authors who also made bestseller this year.
So Hal was talking about the proofs, the book proofs. As a publisher, when you order those proofs and you get the copies of your published author's book and you're holding that in your hands, at least for me, I have that proud papa moment where I just feel warm and I go, this is why I do what I do. And I get to see this book come to fruition. So I could not be more proud of these two gentlemen who created their best-selling books. So first, for his book, Why Real Estate, the EIPPY goes to Jeffrey Stone.
Now we need to get pictures.
Congratulations. And next for his book, Blind Sight. Blind Sight. I love this book. Did you guys see the cover?
Yes.
Oh,
Great cover.
yes. This EIPPY goes to Michael Masters.
Yeah, Brandy, good Brandy. You're learning.
Slow but sure.
That's right. Sure.
Thank you, Keith, for being such a wonderful partner. And we love being involved in anything that we do with you that makes these magical moments happen. So thank you. Okay, Susan, this may take a while. You might need some help hauling all these certificates off. Okay, Susan, as we talked about earlier, did Bridging Medicine and Miracles, and then with her son, sons, I should say, 3 sons, Tormented by Technology. So here are certificates for you and for your wonderful boys.
Thank you.
You love marvelous.
Okay, Rita, I believe you were going to accept for Susie Briscoe.
Yes.
Do you want to come up?
Sure.
Okay, Rita's accepting for Susie Briscoe, and she did a wonderful book. I wanted to make sure I got the name right. Color Your Legacy. It's all about chakras, and Susie's been with us several times. She's in the UK and unfortunately couldn't make it this time. So thank you for accepting.
Thank you. She will love this.
Thank you. Okay, and once again, Zubin had A Path to Financial Freedom, which we actually took to bestseller a couple years ago, but he hadn't been able to make it until now, so we wanted to be sure and honor him with a certificate.
This is pretty.
Okay, Susan, if you could stay up here. Anyone who received an individual award, I would love it if you could come up. Not only so we could do a group picture, but I'd also like to pass the mic and have you maybe just take a minute or two to talk about your book and what it meant to you and what you hope readers will get out of it. Is that everybody? Oh, no. There you go again. That understated.
Step forward so the light's not in your face. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to just pass the mic to each one of you and tell us a little bit about the book and what you hope people will get out of it.
Thank you so much, Viki. It was wonderful working with you and publishing this book through you. And I thank everybody who's in the team. This book about the ultimate business growth formula is original idea of Steve's wife of creating formulas for small business owners to grow their business, which Steve then wrote, and there are 52 plus formulas. And then we added to it, fine-tuned it, and then we have made something which is unbreakable formula for growth. And this is for small business owners that anybody of you and anybody who reads, it's very easy to apply and grow their business in spite of whatever background you have and problems you may have in your business, locality, country, whatever is the business. We have worked with over more than 26,000 businesses. It's one of the world's biggest study of small business owners in 20 years, and we have documented it. And this book has taken more than 20 years to be. So it evolves every year. We keep on adding to it. But this was the first time we published it and in this form and got it out for people. So I hope it helps a lot of people all over the world. Thank you so much.
The full title of our book is Blind Sight, A Quantum Life in a Human World. And it scares a lot of people off. But we're trying to humanize and bridge the gap and humanize the idea of what it means to be a human in the age of what we now know with quantum science, and engage a higher frequency of intelligence and energy. And we do hope to make a difference in the world. We'd like to see it at the table. We'd like to join in the big conversation. And that's what this effort is all about. And thanks to Keith and Mara for making the magic happen too. So thank you.
The first book
Bridging Medicines and Miracles, Essential Truths, Key Practices, and a New Perspective on Health and Healing was really kind of a substantial work for me. It was kind of everything, a compilation of everything that I had learned about healing throughout my life. And then the next book, Tormented by Technology. What I hope people will get from this, I'm hoping that will bring a voice to people who are suffering as a result of technology, and that we will be able to demand safer technology in the future, and accountability to corporations who are not necessarily looking out for our best interest. So on behalf of my 3 sons, Dan, Will, and Tom, I just want to thank everyone for their support, and Viki for all the work that you're doing, and I think we're all making a great difference, so thank you.
Susan, I don't know if this is going to be too much. Wow. Thank you so much. You're going to be overweight going home.
I feel like I've already talked a lot. Anyway, 10,000 miles from my dead father's ashes, without question, was a labor of love. It took years for me to write, in part because it was hard. I think I wrote it for the 13-year-old me, and I wrote it for people who were really having challenging relationships with their own family legacy. I wrote it because I wanted you to laugh your freaking face off. I wanted you to go, oh my God, I'm glad that's not my life. And I really crossed my fingers that when my mom read it, she wasn't going to take my picture off the mantle and throw it in the garbage can. And it's gotten wonderful response. I didn't say this earlier, but I'm going to say it now, I think with Viki's encouragement, is that the book inspired the executive producer of Grey's Anatomy to possibly make it into a film, that's 1. And 2, it is the finalist of the Forward Indie Book Awards for Autobiography and Memoir of the Year. Wow. So,
I guess the story behind the Path to Financial Freedom is, it's funny how we put so many criminals in jail for stealing money. However, I firmly do believe that it's an absolute crime against humanity that with the system that we have in place in Canada and the United States, that we over time rob of us every single day. A Path to Financial Freedom was really written for not everybody. It was written specifically for entrepreneurs. Because as entrepreneurs, we are the only fools in the world who actually are willing to give up a 9 to 5 so that we can work 16 hours of any 24-hour period in any given day. And as a result, I firmly do believe that if we are just able to get our time back and be able to use that in the right manner, how much more effective could we be? And that's what the book was written for, and who the book was written for and really catered to. So thank you. Thank you, Viki, for helping us get that to a bestseller status, and appreciate all the work that you do.
Move forward some. Sure.
We'll just have a projector.
So I've already told you everything that I wanted to tell you earlier, but what I didn't get to do, I'm going to read you one little page that I give to every child that I meet that can't afford the book. It's just the one page. It's called The Bare Essentials of Life. Be who you are and know yourself. Pretenders are not real. Say what you mean and don't hold back. Express the way you feel. When you know yourself, you can't be lost, and your life will take you far. The key is being true to you and remembering who you are. Respect all life that's here for you and trust your heart to guide. Know love surrounds you every day. It never leaves your side. Be still and quiet, you're not alone. And in your stillness hear the whispers of a quiet, sweet voice who cares for you, my dear. Please laugh and sing out every day. Your joy expressed in sound can fill the hearts of those you love. They're blessed when you're around. Remember, every word and thought creates the world you'll see. And say I love you every day, and say it joyfully. Remember, you are a special child and have a precious gift. And when you bring your gift to serve, the hearts you touch will lift. There's no one else like you, my child. You are stardust made from love. Appreciate the life you have and thank your stars above. I promise you can change the world. Allow your feelings to be felt and trust the wisdom of your heart to let you be yourself. One final message for your heart. Its power will ring true. I believe in you with all my heart. Now you believe in you. That's what we're talking about.
Gosh, that was beautiful. Thank you. I wrote Why Real Estate, an Introduction to Real Estate for Aspiring Entrepreneurs, for the reason that you might guess by reading the subtitle. When I got into real estate, I discovered that it seemed kind of like a hidden business model. There are a lot of winds at our back, as I call them in my book. There's so many things that people have going for them that sometimes they don't realize, and they let fear take them out of the game just because they don't have every little thing planned out already. And this book is meant to provide them a little bit of courage to do that. And as long as I've got the microphone, I want to thank You Speak It and Baby Pie Publishing and Keith and Mara Leon for helping me do it. Good job.
Come forward.
All of us?
That's good.
Come forward. Even more forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Vic.
So, I don't know, there's a couple of other books that I wanted to honor. And when I decided to stop traveling and do this monumental, like half the year, 3/4 of the year gone and the rest of the time on airplanes, when I started that coaching website that I told you about, it was called the Coach Exchange. And it celebrated its 12th anniversary, I think, this year. So it's not that active as a community now, but people have contributed amazing things to it. And one of the way we started it was through an anthology. It wasn't my anthology, it was an anthology out there that I ran into that really attracted me. And I thought, what if we were to get the publisher of this anthology to agree for us to run a contest? And everyone would submit materials. And they did that, and we had over 300 submissions for this anthology. And out of that, we, with the publisher, picked a winner to publish in that anthology. But all of that material, this wonderful, wonderful material, was the start of our website. And so what we decided to do, and it continued, it's been around for about 12 years, so it continued to collect more and more wonderful stories, wonderful advice. It was really a coach-to-coach type of network. So what we decided to do this year and move to bestsellers, compile it all instead of having it on the website. The website URL now goes to a downloadable version of the Coach Exchange. And became a bestseller. It's like monumental, 500, 600 pages. It's just huge. So it's where people, ideas, and purpose unite to create possibility. So now, all of that material, as well as all of the interviews we did, and all of the things we did very early, as far as having people come to the event and so forth, it's all going to be available on the website. So it's going to become more of a learning vehicle than a community vehicle. So Morgana contributed to the sister site, which was Ask the Coach Exchange, which was coach to client. And I wanted to give you a copy of this.
You want to get a picture?
Yes. My question is, are there any other coaches in the audience that feel that they would really benefit? I've got a couple other books from Coach to Coach. Okay, we've got two right there. Me? You?
Aww,
and Jan raised his hand as well.
Thank you so much.
And I had the opportunity to co-create a book. It was really inspired by Dr. Jean Parrish, and she does all kinds of work in hospitals with children. And so she said what she really found was necessary are activity books. So we did something that was keyword related to joy and hope and happiness. And there's a place inside the book, and it's oddly enough based on teddy bears too. But it's a place where people or kids and their parents can guide them through it, store their photographs, draw, and write. And so we put it together in little packages. The book went international bestseller. And we put it in packages with pens and a little tote bag. And then we also, because it's so in need down here, we actually converted it to Spanish. So we have the Spanish version too. So is there anyone who thinks they know of a child that might really benefit from the book?
I have my own. I bought it.
Would you like one for?
Yeah, oh, I thought Sam's, I would love one, yes, thank you.
Okay.
And
Can you
you
get it back in the
take my
bag?
book to Spanish also? I do want to do that.
Yeah, you can do
I
that.
do want to do that.
Yours would be a little bit more challenging than this one in translation. So, okay, and I also have one of the books left, Are You the Missing Piece? So who would like Are You the Missing Piece to take back? Would you like it? Okay, fantastic. All right, so I don't even know if this is possible, but will we break the stage if we got all the authors up here and took a group picture?
Smile through my tears.
Good job, fight through it.
It's a great book.
We have the one with the old photo. Hold on, we have one.
He's gonna go to prom and then second another one close to you.
These photographers and videographers are amazing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, they
The
are.
best we've ever had at any event. Okay, well, congratulations, everyone. This was really magical for me. I just love this part of the event. I love the whole event, but especially this part of the event. And so now we get to go and celebrate the awards.
I'd say something.
Yeah.
I believe I can speak for each one of us here.
Closer.
Closer.
Right, Joe.
Closer. Closer to your
I believe I can speak for each one of us here when I say, thank you, Viki. You make it all happen. Let's give Viki a standing ovation.
I want to thank you so much for being here, for all you do, and especially for that. That was so touching for me. And it's very interesting because I've done a lot of different things with my background, and I used to look at it as being very broken up and inconsistent. And then all of a sudden, I was drawn to the idea of looking at the substance of what I did, not necessarily the activity. And I realized that what I've done in everything, when I was modeling, when I was advertising, when I was consulting, and of course now doing the publishing. It was always the idea of bringing people in need together with people who needed what they had. I was always kind of like the middleman of that, the liaison. And I love being in that place, you know, and so I love the idea of creating a stage for you to all be on, because that's really what I do consistently in life, and I love it. And without you, I would have nothing to do. So thank you so much. And now we are going to have someone guide us over to where we can party a little and celebrate. Yay! But I think there's a windy road to get there, so someone from the hotel is going to take us over.